I knew Joe Michael Straczynski, very casually. I had met him through Harlan. I mean, as I say, Kevin Bacon is in this everywhere. And met him at a couple of parties. And he had asked me at one point if I would read a script that he had written for Twilight Zone as an editor that was not done. And it was a 2-character script. And I asked if my wife would read it with me. My wife is an actress. So we read it for him on a radio show called Hour 25. It was science fiction, and it was at, I think, 11 in the evening or 1 in the morning, or maybe 1 in the morning for the 25. And we did a good job. We read it, and that was the end of it, and he thanked me. And then I didn't have occasion to talk to him for a while. And then, we didn't hang out, we just didn't hang out. Then I got a call that he had sold his series Babylon 5, and that he had a part that he'd like me to do. And I thought, wow, that's great. And I think he sent me the script, and I promptly had a heart attack. I mean, literally, not because of the script. I just had a heart attack. I was. This is 1993. Yeah. And I was in the hospital. I had a quadruple bypass. And other than my family, he was the first one I called, because they were supposed to start shooting in August, and this was in July. And I said, Joe, I'm not going to be available to do this. I'm recovering from this heart attack. He says, okay, we'll hold the script, and we'll shoot when you're ready. And I thought that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing that somebody would do that. And as a matter of fact, it was amazing, and he couldn't do it. But he didn't forget his promise. He had to get somebody else to shoot it because they ran out of scripts. And he got a terrific actor who was much better than I would have been. He got an English actor to do it, and we had just the right quality for this role.
Do you know what the character was, the original character?
Well, he was played by an Englishman, and he and another guy, they get into this guy's brain. I mean, literally, they get into our captain's brain. This was a first-year show with Captain Sinclair, I think his name was. That's amazing. I remember that, Captain Sinclair, and you see them physically inside of his brain, changing things around. So it went very well. But then I got a call from him saying, we'll do another character. We'll do somebody else. And I got home. I was home for about a month, and I got a script. And the character was named Alfred Bester. And it was about a guy who sort of was in charge of the Psi Corps. It was sort of a it was a group of telepaths that was somewhat underground, and were also being persecuted for their talent and their belief system. And what would have been a one-shot deal, as if I had played the first part, now became a multiple deal, and I appeared in each season to the extent that I ended up doing 12 episodes, and was named by a couple of groups as the best villain in series television, best science fiction villain, etc., and got a considerable amount of recognition for it, and became one of the best, most satisfying experiences I ever had. It was just a great experience. Here I was, in each episode, I was critical to the story. It wasn't like, Captain, I don't know what's out there, and then let Captain Kirk tell you all about what's going on. Here was a character who moved the story along, not just articulated the circumstances, but actually was involved in the story itself, who had his own belief system, his own internal life, his own personal problems and conflicts. And we got to investigate those over the course of 12 episodes. It was a dimensional character, and
Could you
one
just-
that was written with, as I say, considerable individuality. So I had an absolute ball, and everybody treated me very well. I'm sure my reputation as belonging to Star Trek had a great deal to do with it, but they were also good people. All of the cast, Bruce Boxleitner and Jerry Doyle and Maya, they were all terrific. The executive branch of the production, everybody was great. They showed me the tapes in advance. They didn't necessarily ask for my input, but they never changed anything that I added, and that was not such a small thing, because Joe was very, very adamant about having his dialogue appear as he wrote it, and occasionally I would change things, and he let it go. Each time he let it go, and I think it was to the advantage of the script. I mean, there weren't a lot of things, but there were half a dozen things that I did. In any case, it was a great experience over 5 years. I had a wonderful time. I really feel it was the act 2 of my life in television, and never had a harsh word with anybody, and I made a lifelong friend of Joe, although we still don't see each other. I asked him to speak at my star ceremony, and he volunteered to do so, even though it meant coming from out of town because he was on location. So Babylon 5 has a particularly good place in my heart, a kind place in my heart.